Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will get started in just a little bit. We're going to give a few seconds for folks to come into the room. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. See the numbers going up. So we'll give it just a few more seconds and we'll get started. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you everyone for joining us. So today's webinar, we will be covering admissions information for our spring 2021 transfers. So I'll start by introducing myself. So my name is Kristen Johnson. I'm an outreach and recruitment counselor. I'm also the Transfer Center co-coordinator, along with my colleague Nancy. I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself.
Thanks, Kristen. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nancy Trin. Just like Kristen said, I am the other co-coordinator for the Transfer Center and one of the outreach and recruitment counselors. Welcome.
Yes, and also with us today, we do have Titan orientation program. So we have Emily Hill here with us, and so she'll be sharing a little bit about what the orientation process will look like for spring. So before we get into the presentation, we thought it would be cool to show you all a quick video that kind of shows you what it means to be a Titan. So I will go ahead and kick it off for the video. Yay. So thank you for showing that video. I hope that's got you all excited. My favorite part of the video is Tuffy dancing. So we'll go ahead and get started.
Just before we start, we just want to mention that we are taking questions today during our webinar. Please feel free to use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen and enter your question. And our staff will be monitoring and answering those questions for you throughout the presentation.
Thanks, Nancy. So we'll start by saying our transfer center is functioning. We're fully operating, but we're operating virtually right now. So if you do need assistance, you can reach out and get help with your application. We have our transfer peer advisors there to assist you. So please do not hesitate to reach out. I know a lot of you all are working on your spring application right now, so we are here to help. We also have weekly webinars every Thursday from 2 to 3 during the summer. So if you want to check out our webinars, we are offering a Cal State Fullerton presentation, which gives you highlights of our campus. We cover history, our majors, our programs, all of our services. We also talk about our admissions information. So please feel free to go ahead and check out our webinars. Starting in the fall, they will be moving a little bit later. They'll be at 3:30. But if you go to our website, which is listed there at the bottom, fullerton.edu/or, and click on the Transfer Center tab, you can sign up for webinars, and you can also sign up for one-on-one virtual appointments. So if you want to meet one-on-one with a transfer peer advisor, you can actually go ahead and go to the website and just click on the link, and you can set up a 20-minute appointment with one of our transfer peer advisors. We can go over in more detail with you about our transfer admissions requirements and pretty much just answer any questions that you have. So feel free to get connected. I know sometimes it's just nice to have that one-on-one assistance. So that's what we're here for. We're here to help. We also have a lot of updates on our website, on our Instagram page. If you follow us at CSU of Transfer, we have a lot of updates and reminders there as well. Our hours are 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. as well. Only time we're closed is 1 to 3 on Fridays because we have our department meetings, but these hours have been updated. I know previously the hours were a little bit different, so I wanted to let everyone know our hours are now 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for our transfer center. And now we're going to talk about our transfer requirements. So students do need 60 transferable units to be eligible for transfer. 30 of the units do need to be general education classes completed with a C- or better. This does include your Golden 4 classes, so you'll need to take one class from each of the Golden 4 areas. So this includes oral communication, written communication, critical thinking, and mathematics. For Cal State Fullerton, we do waive the critical thinking if you're an engineering or computer science major. That's just a Cal State Fullerton thing. So if you're looking at multiple Cal States, I would recommend you go ahead and take the critical thinking. But that is something Cal State Fullerton does waive for our engineering and computer science majors. You do also need to meet the GPA cutoff. So you do need a 2.0 minimum to be eligible for transfer. However, Cal State Fullerton is an impacted campus, so we do recommend a higher GPA just to be more competitive. We can't tell you exactly what that GPA is because it does vary depending upon the application pool, but you do need a 2.0 minimum to be CSU eligible for transfer. We did want to provide you with our numbers for fall 2020 just to kind of give you a ballpark of where you should be sitting. So 2.8 was our cutoff for local area and 3.2 for out of local area. If you're curious as to what that means, local area, out of area, basically what that means is if most of your units have been completed at an Orange County Community College, you will get that local area advantage. And later we're going to show you which colleges are in our local area. The other way you can be considered local area is if you earn an associate's degree for transfer from one of our Orange County Community Colleges as well. So those are what our GPA cutoffs were for this fall 2020 coming up. And again, we provide those numbers to give you a ballpark of kind of a goal for where you can shoot for your GPA. Cal State Fullerton does not, currently at this time, we do not require lower division major prep. We do recommend, however, that you use assist.org to see which classes you can take for your major so that you can knock those classes out before you come to Cal State Fullerton. But we do admit you based off of just having your 60 transferable units and, you know, including your GEs and your Golden 4. The only exception for that is our criminal justice and our nursing program, which actually do require prerequisites. Criminal justice does require that you take criminal justice 100 as a prereq, or that you complete a criminal justice ADT, and then that prereq would not be required because it would already be covered. For nursing, there are quite a few list of prerequisite classes that you do need to take. Those are listed on the nursing website, so you're able to check that out there. Also for dance and music, they do require an audition in addition to meeting our transfer requirements. There's also some updates on our COVID-19 updates if you check out the calstate.edu website. There have been some updates due to COVID-19. One of those being that students can take credit or no credit classes or pass no pass classes for the winter, spring, and summer 2020. We are accepting credit, no credit, pass, no pass. That's just one of the updates. There's quite a few updates regarding COVID-19. So for that entire comprehensive list of updates, we do recommend you go to our calstate.edu website and you will find all of the COVID-19 admissions updates there. So Impaction. So as I mentioned earlier, you need the 2.0 minimum to transfer into the CSU system. But like I said, for Cal State Fullerton, our GPA requirement is a lot higher. And partly that's because of our level of impaction here at our university. So basically impaction means that we receive more applications than we have room for. And so that does add to the level of competitiveness. But I guess I could say the good side of that is if you are attending any of our local area colleges, so any of the colleges that you see listed there, as long as most of your units have been taken there or you earn an ADT at any of these colleges, you will receive that local area advantage, basically meaning that your GPA that you need to get admitted is going to be lower than if you were applying from out of our local area. So again, it would be any of these 9 colleges here. Those are the ones that are in our local area. So this chart basically just shows you where we stand in comparison with the other CSUs within the Cal State system. As you can see, the schools on the far left, basically, if you are going to go to any of those schools, they're not impacted. And so if you have a 2.0 GPA, you've met your transfer requirements, you would have a pretty good chance of admission. The schools in the middle column, the gray column, you really would, if you're applying to any of those schools, you would need to research their admissions website to see if the major that you're applying into is an impacted program. If so, you would have to meet a higher GPA. But we wanted to show you in regards to Cal State Fullerton, we are on the far right column, the yellow column, along with, Fresno, Long Beach, Los Angeles, San Diego, all of those colleges listed there were fully impacted campuses. So basically that means for both freshmen, for transfers, and across all majors, we are fully impacted. So we just want you all to be aware of that level of competitiveness in terms of the admission process.
All right, so now we're going to talk about transfer deadlines, since it has been a common question that we've been getting from students. So here is a helpful chart for you for spring 2021 application cycle. ADT units can be completed by fall 2020, as well as the 60 transferable units can also be completed by fall 2020. However, the Golden 4 requirements must be completed by summer 2020, so end of the summer term. Here are some additional deadlines for you to be aware of. These are on our CSUF admissions website. You can access these at any time. We just screenshotted it for you for convenience. As you can see here, the app cycle will end of this month, August 31st. So make sure you submit your application by that date. And we would encourage for you not to submit on the 31st. Sometimes the system does glitch. So we just want to ensure that you successfully submit your application and don't wait till the last minute. The next deadline is a big deadline. There's a lot of stuff due on November 15th. As you can see here, official college transcripts with your summer 2020 grades are due by November 15th. As well as the verification of an in-progress or completed ADT, if you are pursuing an ADT, is also due on the 15th. And then the last thing for November 15th is actually accepting your admissions offer if you are admitted and paying that enrollment deposit by the 15th. There is a parentheses there. Applicants admitted after November 15th have 2 weeks from the date of admission printed on the admission letter to accept their admissions offer. So if you are admitted after the 15th, then you do have 2 weeks to accept that offer. And the last deadline is February 1st, 2021, and that is for all official transcripts, including the ADT official degree transcript posted on your document. We just want to highlight Cal State Apply, since you will need to go to Cal State Apply to submit your application. So it's just calstate.edu/apply. These are the app windows for spring and also for fall. We wanted to also include fall on there just because the deadline is different for fall this year. The deadline has been extended an extra, I believe, 4 days this year. It's only going to be for this year. So from October 1 to December 4th is when applicants can submit their application for fall 2021. You can do a lot of exploration on Cal State Apply. You can look at different campuses, different majors on different campuses, and learn more about the degree programs offered on each campus. So we definitely encourage you to utilize this resource. It is a wealth of information for you all to check out. We're going to quickly talk about majors. This has also been a common question for us. So we want to highlight that not all majors are open for Cal State Fullerton for spring 2021. So please look at the list of available majors for our campus on Cal State Apply. If a major you want to apply for is not listed, we encourage you to apply for the next cycle, which is fall 2021. And then the last update is that major changes into programs that are closed for spring 2021, for example, criminal justice, it will not be allowed. So again, if you are interested in a major like criminal justice and it's not open for spring, we do encourage you to apply in the fall. This is just a QR code. If you want to pull out your phone, you can take a picture of this and it'll take you to our website where you can submit your information, and then you'll be included in our email listserv, and you'll continue to get updates from our department. So I'll give you a second to do that. And then we also just want to share some more contact information. We understand it's important for you to get connected to our departments in our campus right now. So this is our department information, outreach and recruitment. You can also follow outreach on Instagram. It's a separate account, it's CSUF Outreach. And then on the left column here, we have some additional departments contact information that you should take advantage of. And that is it from us. We're going to hand it over to Emily to go over some orientation updates.
Thanks, Nancy. So hi, everyone. My name is Emily. I serve as the Senior Coordinator for Titan Orientation Programs, which at Cal State Fullerton is the department that oversees all of the orientation programs that happen. So once you are admitted for spring 2021, I'm just going to go over what is required of you to fulfill your orientation requirement. So this first piece is for our spring 2021 admits, we will be online due to our campus closures during the fall semester. So we have moved all of our current summer orientation programs online, and we will keep them online for the spring. So there will be no in-person orientation dates for our spring 2021 admits. So our online orientation is a module that takes about 45 minutes to an hour to complete, and you will be able to access that through your student portal. So my number one tip would be to make sure that you are checking your student portal and your CSUF email regularly, so that you will be updated on when orientation opens up and when you're able to go in and access that module. So students, if you're a counselor on here or you're a student, making sure that you are checking your email regularly along with your portal, because that's where we will give you all of the updates about orientation. But main point is that it will be online, so stay tuned for additional details on how to access the module. But I also did want to give you our contact information, which will be right here. So this is our Titan Orientation Programs team, and our contact information is there for you. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at CSUF Orientation. You can also reach us via email. We try to get back to students between 24 and 48 business hours. So if you have questions about orientation or the requirements, you can use our email. You can also visit our website, and it's listed there. Our website is completely up to date for incoming students for the fall, and shortly in the next few weeks, it will be updated for incoming spring's transfer students. So check there and connect with us, and if you have any questions, we are here to help you.
Great. Thank you, Emily, for those updates. So we have come to the conclusion of our presentation. It looks like a few of you all have been putting questions in the Q&A. So we have time left. If you have additional questions, feel free to go ahead and post those, and we will do our best to answer any questions as they come in. I'm just gonna pull this up. So I guess I'll take one of these questions here from Lucero. I want to apply this August, but I haven't taken COM 100. I'm going to take it this fall semester, and I've taken all the other classes. Overall, my GPA is almost a 4.0. Is there a chance to get into Cal State Fullerton? That's a really good question. So we admit based off of you meeting the transfer admissions requirement. So as long as you have your 60 transferable units completed by the end of this fall, and your golden 4 is done by the end of this summer, and your GPA sounds like it's very strong, you would be eligible to go ahead and submit your application. So hopefully that answers your question.
I can take another one. Can I book an appointment with Transfer Center if I'm taking class at Fullerton College? Yes, definitely. You're more than welcome to book an appointment, even if you are not a student at Cal State Fullerton. So please go to our website, fullerton.edu/OR, click on the Transfer Center tab, and then from there you'll see a link that says book a daily appointment, and then it'll take you to a scheduling website where you can choose your own date and time, and then you'll get an email confirmation.
I'll take the next one. It says, is psychology available at the Irvine campus for spring 2021? That is a really great question. I know that the Irvine campus does offer, limited classes. They don't have everything that's offered on the main campus. So I would recommend you check out their website. You can just Google or Cal State Fullerton Irvine Center. And I believe you click on campus, you click on programs or something along that line, and it'll list all of the programs and classes that are available. Also, when you go to register for a class, it'll let you know if it's available at Irvine campus as well.
All right, I can take another one here. Oh, it just disappeared. How do we complete the ADT verification? That usually is done through your community college. You should talk to your community college counselor. Most community colleges do it electronically, so you just have to let your counselor know and they can verify on your behalf.
Yeah, just to add to that, I know e-verify is typically the best way to go. And that's basically where the community college posts your ADT information to the website. And then that allows Cal State Fullerton to see that information. And that's how we're able to confirm that your ADT is, in progress or it's complete. So that's probably the best way to go. Let's see, what else do we have here? It says, this next question from John, I was told by a peer advisor to submit an unofficial transcript with my application, but I didn't see an option to do so besides the manual transcript entry. Is there somewhere else I should be submitting it to? Yes, my understanding is there was an option to upload a transcript as like an additional document in the Cal State Apply application. If you're not seeing it, I guess, don't worry about it. The admissions office will be asking for your transcripts, however, throughout the application process. So after you submit your app, make sure that you're checking your student portal and your Cal State Fullerton email, because if our office is asking you for an unofficial transcript or for an official transcript, you will want to make sure you go ahead and get that submitted. So if it's not showing in the app, I don't know, maybe that's an update or something like that, but the most important thing is that you send your transcripts in when they're being requested by our school.
All right. There's lots of questions coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is, if a student was denied in fall 2019 and wants to reapply for spring 21, how can they do that? Do they update application or reapply? You would need to reapply. It would be a completely different application process. So you go to Cal State Apply and create a new application.
Yes. Next question, if I'm finishing my last semester in fall 2020, when applying to transfer on Cal State Apply, which degree goals should I check? Transferring with an associate's degree for transfer awarded by a community college, or transferring from a community college to a four-year institution? That's a really good question. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so in the extended profile, and this is kind of good for anyone to know if you're submitting your application in Cal State Apply, it's very important that you identify what kind of student you are. So for Cal State Fullerton, you should only be selecting one of two options, either that you're transferring with 60 units or more, or that you're completing an ADT. So to answer your question, it would really depend on whether or not you're coming to Cal State Fullerton with an ADT, or are you just coming in with the 60 units? Because the ADT is not an admissions requirement, but you do get a special agreement if you have the ADT, which is why we ask you that. So to answer your question, yes, if you have an ADT, which is an AAT, Associate of Arts or Associate of Science for transfer, then you would say, yes, that's what you're coming in with. But if you didn't do that program, that's completely fine, and you're coming in with 60 units, then you would just say that you're transferring from the community college, and then you would need to notate that you're coming in with 60 units as an upper division transfer student.
Okay, next one is, this question might be a bit premature because you probably don't know yet. Will you be using summer 2020 grades or fall 2020 grades for GPA calculations for fall 2021 admissions? We really need that information ASAP. We wouldn't be able to use fall 2020 grades because you wouldn't have those grades when you go to apply for fall 2021. I do believe that summer 2020 grades would be considered. Kristen, correct me if I'm wrong, for fall 2021 apps.
I also think it's summer would be the last, but I don't want to give wrong information. And I know Armando. Hi, Armando. I will go ahead and email you as soon as I get an answer on that, because I want to be sure, because I think it is summer 2020, but I want to be sure on that. So let me consult with our admissions office, and then I will get back to you. I have your email, so I will be in touch. What else do we have here? When applying to the Irvine campus, I submit through the main CSUF website, correct? Will there be an option to select the Irvine campus on the application? That's a great question. So the Irvine campus, think of the Irvine campus as like, not its separate thing. It's actually the Irvine Center. They went under a name change. So your application is to Cal State Fullerton. So if you get into Cal State Fullerton, then you have the option to take classes at the Irvine Center. So they're not a separate campus or anything like that. It's basically Cal State Fullerton, just in a different location. So as long as you apply to Cal State Fullerton, you get admitted to Cal State Fullerton, then you have the option to take classes at the Irvine campus. In terms of signing up for classes, like I said, it's limited. So, you know, upon getting admitted, when you go to register for classes, you'll want to look and see if the course that you need is offered at the Irvine Center. And if it is, then you can go ahead and sign up for classes there.
All right. If a student earns an ADT at a deemed local CC, but does not necessarily have most of their units completed at such CC, are they still considered local by your admissions office? Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. What else do we have here? I'm part of the pledge program at my community college. Will the benefits of the pledge program, promise program, work for transfer for spring 2021? You know, I'm not familiar with the program. I don't know if anyone else can speak to this, maybe on my staff. I know we have the California Promise. And so if you indicate on the Cal State Apply application that you do want to do the California Promise program, that's basically a program where we help transfer students finish in 2 years. You get specialized advising and counseling. So that's a great program. And I always recommend students do check that box on the application. I'm not familiar with the particular program that you mentioned there, but if you don't mind dropping your email, I could definitely look into it for you and get back to you.
All right, next question. I apologize if this was answered. Is there any transfer requirements for communications? There are no specific requirements for communications as a major. You would just follow the transfer requirements that we listed earlier. So, yep.
Okay, I see the next question. I was class of 2013 with associate's degree liberal arts and sciences from Cerritos College. Can I still transfer with the same transfer credits? And I never applied for CSU. So it sounds like, yeah, you have an associate's degree. So likely you already meet our transfer requirements. And so as long as you, are meeting the requirements that we went over earlier in the presentation, you would be eligible to apply for transfer.
Okay, next one. You guys are really good with the questions right now. Just to confirm, I don't need to order and upload my transcripts for actual application. I need to send them in after. Yes, you don't need to order or upload your transcripts for your application. You just need to enter in your coursework. And yes, you will need to submit them after if you are admitted to the university.
So the next one is an animation major guaranteed. So animation, so entertainment, art, animation, illustration, those are part of like our BFA program, Bachelor of Fine Arts. Just a side note about anything that's falls under the BFA, so anything that falls under a Bachelor of Fine Arts, you're not going to be able to apply directly into the program. You actually have to apply into the Bachelor of Arts program, which you would want to make sure that, and I believe it is available on the spring application. And so after you apply into the Bachelor of Arts program and you get admitted, then there is a screening process, I guess you can say, to actually get into the BFA program, which animation would be a part of that. So you would have to, again, apply as a Bachelor of Arts student. Once you're here at Cal State Fullerton, you're admitted. During that first semester when you meet with your advisor, you'd want to say like, hey, I'm interested in the BFA program because, like I said, there's a screening process and there's certain requirements, and sometimes you have to do a portfolio and things like that. So you'd want to make sure that you're prepared for that screening process to then apply into the BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts program.
All right, I can take the next one. Does the Pathway to Law School program offer any benefits to transfer applicants? I am not familiar with this. Is this a Cal State Fullerton? I don't know if anyone has any insight on this, or is this something at your current community college?
We might want to get an email.
Okay. Yeah, please feel free to send us an email, transfer@fullerton.edu, and we can look into that for you, Daniel. All right, next question. I believe this is the last one. What if I don't know my statewide student ID, SSID from high school? Is that required on Cal State Apply?
Yeah, I can take that one. The SSID, it does ask you to put that in on Cal State Apply. If it's one of the questions with an asterisk, it will be required, and it's not going to let you move forward until you fill that in. However, I'm assuming you're a transfer student, so I'm curious as to why it would be asked to do that. So, and I know there's some glitches with Cal State Apply right now, but make sure that your extended profile does show that you're coming in as an upper division transfer student with 60 units. Because if not, if you put like your, graduating high school, or you put that you're a lower division transfer, it's going to ask for all of your high school information. And so it shouldn't be asking for Cal State Fullerton, because we only take upper division transfers. So I don't know why, it would be asking that, but just make sure your extended profile is correct. And like I said, unless it's has an asterisk next to it, then you don't have to fill it in, and you should be able to move to the next question.
Yeah, just to echo Kristen, there's been glitches on the Cal State Apply application. So for that statewide student ID, you can just go ahead and enter 0.
That works too.
To move forward. Mm-hmm. All right. Next question. I was told that since I am earning an ADT, that if CSUF doesn't accept me, that I would be guaranteed a CSU campus. Does the application ask me what my second choice is, or how will I get acceptance to another CSU? That's a good question. And Kristen, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe there is a second choice option. The ADT just guarantees acceptance into a CSU campus, but I believe they decide that for you.
Sorry about that. I had to change locations. If anyone hears a loud alarm, I am at home and they are doing fires in my building. So I kind of missed the question. Can you repeat that last one, Nancy?
Yeah, where did it go? It disappeared. Actually, it was answered here by our staff. As long as you're CSU eligible, you can be granted admission to a non-impacted campus. You will be offered that option after an admissions decision is made. Okay, so we can move on.
Okay, great. I'll take the next one. It says, when can we choose our minor? Because I'm transferring with an ADT in communications and I'm trying to major in it, but I would also like to join the cinema TV program. Is that possible, or a double major? So yes, once you're admitted, you can start the process on, adding a major, adding a minor. There may be some limitations. I know, for instance, I believe you can't major in two things that are too similar. But that's a conversation I would definitely have with your advisor once you get here to Cal State Fullerton. There is some paperwork involved in terms of adding majors, adding a double major, adding a minor, and those types of things. So you would just want to make sure that you have that conversation as soon as you transfer over to Cal State Fullerton, and also fill out any necessary paperwork for that.
Okay, you just answered that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question, if I finish my ADT in the fall and apply for spring 2021, will my ADT give me benefits for admission? Yes, I think you're referring to the 0.1 GPA boost and the other ADT benefits. So yes, so if you are in progress with an ADT set to complete in fall 2020, you would be considered part of that ADT, applicant pool.
Yes. Another question, are there any grants or information where one should apply to help with application fees for spring? So for the application fee, when you're in the application actually I think it's in the first quadrant, it will ask for your income information. And so based off of what your income is, you may be eligible for a fee waiver that waives the $70 fee. So it really just depends on, your information that you input into the application. If you're eligible, at the end of the application, you will see there'll be a check my fee waivers button. And if you're eligible, you can get up to 4 application fees waived. But again, it just depends on what your specific income information is. So you just want to make sure that that's accurate, and then see if you're eligible for the application fee waiver. Okay, and then someone asked, where in the application does it ask if you're receiving an ADT? Is it only in the supporting information part? Really good question. So that part is the extended profile. So the extended profile is super important because that's where you basically tell the system what kind of student you are. In your case, you should be an upper division transfer student, either coming in with 60 units or more, or a student coming in with an ADT. So when you log into Cal State Apply, go to the top right corner. There's a drop down under your name and it says extended profile. And if you click there, you'll see it ask you these types of questions, including the question about the ADT.
All right, John's asking, reporting my AP exam scores on the application. The app asks for month, date, and year of when the test was taken. However, when I look at my scores on the College Board website, it just shows me the year that I took the test, but not the month or date. How should I report the date of my test? I believe you can go on the College Board website and look up past exam dates.
Yeah.
You can definitely do a Google search and it should all be on the College Board, AP College Board website. So, alrighty.
Okay, I think got a lot of questions. So we still have a little bit more time. If there are more questions, feel free to drop those in. If there was something we needed to follow up with and you want to shoot us an email, like Nancy said, you can contact us at transfer@fullerton.edu, and we'll be happy to follow up with you. You're welcome, Kevin. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay cool. I know it's going to be warm where I live, so drink water. And with that, we will end the webinar. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.